Our proposition is that it's not enough just to go ahead and offer premium services in terms of having very good reliability or cooling or connectivity, but that you also need to go ahead and offer customers choice. And that's what we try to do with over 95 locations, over 900 networks, and over 500 cloud service providers.
So talk more about choice. Choice is what? Geographic choice? Choice of service level? What do you, let's unpack that a little bit. What do you mean by choice?
So it's kind of a lot of those things. So in order to go ahead and get the best performance, you need a couple of different factors. So you need to go ahead and be in the right location, and you need to be connected to the right network providers. So you need to know about who your customers are and what they want to do with your application, and then optimize your network and your connectivity to go ahead and best support them.
So what are you seeing? What are customers telling you about their demands? Everybody's concerned about the cloud. They're concerned about SLAs. They're concerned about security. Security. I'm sure you're hearing some of the same things, but tell us what they're telling you, asking you for, put it in your parlance, and how are you helping solve those problems?
Well, I think what we're seeing is kind of a lot of opportunity because of the development of the cloud and all these great services. These companies are able to go ahead and architect these really nice solutions in a way that they haven't been able to do before by cross-connecting directly to these cloud providers, cross-connecting to CDN platforms, being connected to the right networks. They can go ahead and get performance and scale and at a price model that they might not have been able to do so before.
So how are they architecting the solutions? You're obviously one piece of it.
Right.
Take us through it. I mean, there's no average or typical, but what is a sort of a common deployment and architecture?
So like you say, there's definitely a lot of different models. And so what we've seen with a bunch of companies is sort of the original application was developed and then it's sort of taken off and exploded. And so we actually had a speaker today, Meet Me, that we had been working with, and that was kind of the case, is they had an initial solution and then it became very popular and they knew that they needed to scale. It's actually scaled 300% in the last year. So they knew that they needed to go ahead and grow out and develop their overall solution. And so we were able to work with them and talk with them about how their traffic was being used, where it was coming from, where it was going to, and help recommend to them which carriers they could use to best optimize their traffic, get overall better performance, and actually even reduce down a little bit of their cost.
So content in digital media is in your title, so that's obviously your area. What is that specifically, and what are the particular demands on that side of the business that are unique?
So what I do is I work with a lot of the different companies out there, sort of the search engines, the gaming companies, the streaming media companies, and try to help them meet their goals in terms of performance and overall capability, help to sort of connect them to the different service providers. Like a lot of companies want to connect to Facebook now, and they can go ahead and do that through our exchanges to be able to go ahead and get that optimum performance. So basically overall helping them build those solutions.
And a lot of your customers want to connect with Amazon as
Yes.
well, and so talk about that a little bit.
Right, so we have a partnership with Amazon, a great company, and they have a Amazon Direct Connect solution. So the concept is that a lot of companies want to use the Amazon public cloud, but one of the difficulties with that is accessing that cloud over public IP. So if you need to shift a lot of data in and out of there, a lot of companies would prefer to do that in a more direct fashion. So by coming to Equinix, you can get a direct connect to the Amazon public cloud and then be able to go ahead and securely and quickly just get that content back and forth.
So you co-locate proximate to an AWS data center so that the speed of light is not as problematic, is that correct?
Well, we work with Amazon so that customers can actually go ahead and get a cross connect directly from their cage into the Amazon infrastructure.
Yeah, but one of the advantages, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you guys are physically proximate to the Amazon data because you've got so many data centers around the world, right? So it makes Equinix a unique provider and partner in that regard. Is that true? Or?
Correct. That our infrastructure and resources are close together so that you get low millisecond latency by doing that direct cross connect.
Yeah, because John, as you know, when you're moving a lot of data, it's, I always say the Chevy truck is the fastest way to move it.
Chris, I got to ask you though, I mean, one of the things we've been tracking, obviously, bare metal, standing up bare metal servers has always been what people do, and that's been the way. And we talk about gaming companies, Zynga started on Amazon, then they realized, well, we better have our own bare metal. So they had to build their own colos and data centers as well. So the balance now, large companies, I mean, that's always the fluke, that someone builds on Amazon goes to be, Twitter did the same thing. But for existing companies that need to have that colo, they need to have that bare metal, need to have the data center, capabilities, they need all those benefits, but still want to use cloud. What are you seeing as the dynamic right now between the bare metal and the cloud? What are the key pressure points? What's the market forces? What can you share there?
Right, so what I see is sort of, the overall concept is again kind of about choice, so there's not going to be any one solution that works for any of these companies, but I think the really good option is that these companies could go ahead and choose to use public cloud as makes best sense for them, and then they can also go ahead and deploy solutions within Equinix that makes sense for them. And so we've actually got a really good case study done by Badgeville, which is up on our website, that talks about how they started out in Amazon, and then they needed to get a little bit faster performance on their specific database servers. So what they ended up doing is deploying specialized hardware within Equinix, and then using that direct connect with Amazon